Gary Simon, and I'm your worship associate this morning. Would you all please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing song number 1010 in your teal hymnal, We Give Thanks.
Good morning. My name is Chris Fenton, and I am the treasurer of the Board of Trustees. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Hudson Valley. Whether you have been with this congregation a decade or more, or this is your first time visiting, we welcome you. Whatever the faith and traditions of your past, we welcome you. Whatever your theological stance, we welcome you. Whoever you are and whomever you love, we welcome you. Whatever your heritage, we welcome you. We respectfully acknowledge the territory on which our church building sits as the ancestral homelands of the Munsee, Lenape, and Wappinger peoples. So we have 3 announcements today. Don't forget to order your grocery cards. The congregation makes $5 on every $100 grocery card we sell. Cards are available for ShopRite, Stop and Shop, and Acme in $100 denominations. Email Terry Lucan to order your cards, which will be available for pickup on June 1st. Terry's email is in this week's e-news. There's no cost for you to help us raise funds, so please participate. We only need 12 more to reach our goal of selling 100. This is from the Spring Kitchen Cleanup Crew. There are free cycle items on tables in the fellowship hall for the next 2 Sundays. If any items belong to you, please take them home. If you see something you want, please take it. And next Sunday, June 1st, after the service, we will have a town hall meeting to explain the proposed budget, which I will be doing as treasurer, for next year and answer questions. Then on Sunday, May 8th, after the service, we will have our annual congregational meeting to approve the budget and elect trustees to the board. We still have a couple of vacancies to fill, so if you are interested in being on the board, see one of the members of the nominating committee, Gary Simon, Betsy Cates, and Ali Frace. For the most up-to-date information on these topics and others, please refer to our weekly e-newsletter and check our website frequently. And please join us for conversation after the service. If you are present in the sanctuary, please join us for coffee and conversation in Fellowship Hall. If you're watching the live stream, the link to our Zoom coffee hour can be found in the Saturday reminder in your email. If you are just recently joining us and would like to receive our weekly e-news, please email us at uukroton@gmail.com with your name, and we will make sure you are added to our e-news list. Also, please remember to silence your cell phones at this time. Once again, we welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Hudson Valley.
Our guest speaker is the Vice President of our Board of Trustees, also a worship associate, a member of the choir, and various committees. She is also about to be retired from her job at the Field Library and is always glad to lead a service here at UUCHV. You know her, you love her, and give it up for Nora Mulligan.
Welcome to our time together. May we be brought together in heart and soul. May we pray together and worship together in this beautiful spring morning. And now I'm going to ask the children of our congregation to follow Annabelle and ring the bells for our 6 principals.
7?
7, however many there are. Go and ring the bells.
Well, yeah, it's 8 somethings, but 7 something else's.
We just changed it.
Slow down. Our chalice lighting words today are by Sobnafu Some. Community is the spirit, the guiding light of the tribe, whereby people come together in order to fulfill a specific purpose, to help others fulfill their purpose, and to take care of one another. Now, would you all please join me in saying our unison affirmation? Of course, the words are in your order of service. Inspired by love, our mission is to seek our true nature, connect deeply and openly, and act for justice. And now please join us in singing our songs of praise. It's number 381 and 382, English and Spanish, in your gray hymnal if you'd like. The words are also in your order of service. Sing hymn number 1023 in the teal hymn. Building.
Sing this is around, and so this will be, the right side will be 1, and the second part will be 2, and I'll give you a.
Let us now sing out our children so that they may attend their religious exploration program.
And now we would like to welcome Allie Freitas for the Inclusivity Committee. Please give her a hand.
Good morning. My name is Allie, and like Nora said, I'm a member of our Inclusivity Committee. June is Pride Month, which is a time to honor the history of LGBTQIA+ activism, promote visibility and acceptance, and raise awareness about the challenges the LGBTQIA+ community and individuals continue to face. To honor Pride Month, the Inclusivity Committee is inviting our fellow congregants to join us at 2 Pride events in the next month: White Plains on June 1st and Peekskill on June 28th. We need volunteers for both days to table our booth, help share information, face paint, help kiddos with activities, and set up and break down. Please come chat with me during coffee hour today to sign up for a volunteer slot, and there's more information in your order of service as well. Thank you.
We come together in community to share with one another, to support one another, and to celebrate with one another. We bear sacred witness to each other in this honored ritual. As we begin, we know that there are both great sorrows and great joys in our world that must be acknowledged. We light our first candle to honor those in pain, victims of violence and war and oppression all around the world. We light a second candle because we understand that amidst all of that pain, there is also celebration and joy in our world. We honor that joy and sorrow are woven together. Some of us here today, this has been a week of life-changing joy that needs to be lifted up in this worship. For others, it's been a time of deep pain and sorrow that needs to be shared to make the burden lighter. This has been such a time for you. I invite you to come forward. Not come forward. Not come forward to light a candle, but come forward to speak at the microphone on our left over here. Or you may also raise your hand in acknowledgement of your joys and sorrow, and I will light a candle for you.
Hi, Caroline. Yesterday, Donald Trump was speaking at giving the commencement address at West Point, and there was a large anti-fascism demonstration, and we were all lined up and holding up signs. It was really wonderful. There were a great many of us, and I'm glad my father wasn't there to see it. He made his living correcting spelling and mistakes. We misspelled fascism. We left out the S, stop fascism. But anyway, it was a great demonstration.
Hi, good morning. I'm April, and I have a pretty significant sorrow. I feel like I've had a lot of sorrows lately, but I guess that's just my time. It's my season for sorrows. So one, our collective sorrow about the Trump administration. But this week on Monday, we learned that my husband's losing his job because of the tariffs and the Doge, right? So my husband works for a startup that he really likes working for, a bunch of smart, not a bunch, it's small, a small group of really smart people, and the Doge has pulled back funding for the DOE and the Department of Corrections, and so their clients were not able to renew their contracts, and then another large client in the UK can't renew because of the tariffs, and so we were informed on Monday there's one more payroll in the bank, and that's where we're at. So, not that you would, but William doesn't know about this yet. We don't want to worry him, so please don't go ask him how his dad's doing. But my husband is an Apple systems engineer. So if you know anyone who needs an Apple systems engineer, he's very talented and smart, and we would appreciate the contacts. And I guess, like I thought, the last Trump administration, like, it was horrible, like every day, but also my own particular life wasn't impacted, and the economy was good or whatever, so it was like out there, but it's not out there anymore. And even before this happened, like, everyone's lives are impacted directly, but now my household is impacted. So please keep us in your thoughts. And then I have a joy, which is we met with Daria this morning, William and I really want to thank Daria for volunteering to support William in an immigration campaign. So in 2 weeks, on June 8th, Daria and William and myself will have a table at coffee hour, and we'll ask you guys to please write postcards to probably to Lawler, to Hillebrand, I hope I'm getting your name right, and maybe even the White House, asking them not to take not take children out of schools, or to not take any immigrants from churches and hospitals. So I really appreciate Daria's support with that. Thank you.
Morning, I'm Scott. I resonate so much with the feeling about what's going on in this world, in this country. It's not like we didn't know. We saw. This is the sequel. We saw the original. But what I'm finding to be true is manufacturing joy as much as I can, and manufacturing gratitude. And just a few minutes ago, I watched my daughter Annabelle as she wrestled up all the kids to ring the bell and then took them out, and I teared up with joy, absolute joy. This is a really interesting time for us. We had Mother's Day. We have my wife's birthday next week. Today is our 27th wedding anniversary. And through the gift of a 12-step program, I'm sober 24 years. And none of these things would happen without this commitment to living one day at a time and practicing love. I am so worried about our world, about our children. I'm worried, just like everybody else, not even about the financials. We've all taken big hits. I'm a real estate agent. I'm seeing it in the housing market. But just the decency, just the compassion, all the things that we live on a daily basis here as a community and in my 12-step community. Why can't it be out there? How did this moron get the power to embarrass himself and everybody else, where people have to go to sleep and wonder, will they have a job tomorrow? Will they have a place to live? Will their child be ostracized because they love somebody different than the norm in their eyes? God bless us all. Yeah.
Good morning, I'm Bob. I'll get this right side of this thing up here. Okay, yesterday we had our first highway cleanup. It's part of the Adopt a Highway program that's sponsored all around New York State. In fact, most states have some kind of a program like that. And we have had a hiatus of about 4.5 years. COVID had a lot to do with that, and not our problem. because we were willing to go out and work on the highway. You're not next to each other, so we could go out and clean up. The problem was the state bureaucracies and the changes of management in Katona and the other offices around, and finally I got a hold of somebody that could really work with me, and we had quite a few discussions about getting the permit, and we now have a permit so that we can get out on the highway, and that's good for 2 years. So if you didn't make it yesterday, which I know a lot of people didn't, I hope to see the rest of you, participate sometime or another. I'd like to thank the following people. This is Bernie Croft, Betsy Tomic, Bob Reardon, Margie Kemper, Chris Hauser, Chris Oliver, and myself. We collected 8 bags of orange bags that you saw as you came in, and one black bag that had a very interesting, somebody threw out I think it was a charcoal barbecue grill. It's on wheels and everything else, but it was all folded up in a black bag. And Bernie said it was way up at the top of the beginning of the exit ramp on southbound. And she dragged it all the way down the hill. So it's sitting over here by the crosswalk. So we had a good day. It's a lot of fun. It was a comfortable day. We've been out there some days when it's 90, 95 degrees, and you don't want that. So the other thing I want to draw your attention to, if you look at the highway, our entrance, the drainage has all been improved, and they should be repaving this whole section between here and the other end of Croton within the next couple of weeks. So they've really improved the drainage around, and that'll help a lot. This area does get some flooding, so thank you again, and I hope to see more of you out there. And we'll do this probably in the fall, twice, and then again in the spring. So that's our program.
Hi, I'm Pat Krugman. This month has been a little tough for me. May 4th would have been my 40th anniversary. And I just felt very sad about that. But Lee and I used to go to Cinco de Mayo in the city to celebrate because it was the day after May 4th. So I took myself to Yuca's and had a very nice lunch, and that made me feel better. And this Thursday is a year anniversary of his passing. So I've just been very sad and been spending time with my friends at the Living with Grief group, which has just been wonderful.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alex. I've been filling in for Blake for the last 2 weeks. I just want to thank you first for just being so kind and helpful. It's been really wonderful to play with you and just experience this wonderful community. So thank you. That's a joy for me. And I just had a quick sorrow. In the music world, we lost a wonderful saxophone player in Peekskill. His name was Ray Blue. He'd been out here for decades, and in the New York City area and also in Peekskill. He did a lot to really push live music in the area. He was a really great guy, and so he passed away last week. So I just wanted to just also have a little memory of him because he was a great guy. Ray Blue. Thank you.
Hi again. My name's Allie, and my quick joy is that our nephew is visiting us from the city this weekend, and he moved up almost a year ago from Texas, and most of our family is out of state, so it's nice to have family nearby.
I lit one final candle for all those joys and sorrows that remain unexpressed, and for those outside of our walls who are searching for a place to bring the wholeness of their lives and be received with love.
join me in a spirit of prayer and meditation? Get comfortable, take some deep breaths in and out. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable. You don't have to. And I would like you to think, while you're meditating, about the joys and sorrows that have been shared. But I would also like you to think about what's fair and what's not fair. Think about instances in your own life of fairness and unfairness.
Today's reading is the parable of the prodigal son from the book of Luke. Now, indulge me. Though I know the story, this is a cold reading of this piece of paper. And he said, there was a man who had 2 sons. And the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the share of property that is coming to me. And he divided his property between them. Not many days later, the younger son gathered all he had and took a journey into a far country, and there he squandered his property in reckless living. And when he had spent everything, a severe famine arose in that country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to one of the citizens of that country, who sent him into his fields to feed pigs. And he was longing to be fed with the pods that the pigs ate, and no one gave him anything. But when he came to himself, he said, how many of my father's hired servants have more than enough bread, but I perish here with hunger? I will arise and go to my father, and I will say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Treat me as one of your hired servants. And he arose and came to his father. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and felt compassion, and ran and embraced him and kissed him. And the son said to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. But the father said to his servants, Bring quickly the best robe, and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand, and shoes on his feet. And bring the fattened calf and kill it, and let us eat and celebrate. For this my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. And they began to celebrate. Now his older son was in the field, and as he came and drew near to the house, he heard music and dancing. And he called one of the servants and asked what these things meant. And he said to him, Your brother has come, and your father has killed a fattened calf, because he has received him back safe and sound. But he was angry and refused to go in. His father came out and entreated him. But he answered his father, Look, these many years I have served you, and I never disobeyed your command. Yet you never gave me a young goat, that I might celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours came, who has devoured your property with prostitutes, you killed the fattened calf for him. And he said to him, Son, you are always with me, and all that is mine is yours. It was fitting to celebrate and be glad. For this your brother was dead, and is alive. He was lost, and is found.
There are a lot of things to like in the story of the prodigal son. You have your classic family dynamic. The son wanting to break away from the family, take what's his and go and see the world. You have a father being understanding enough to allow the son to take his share of the family's wealth and do his own thing. You have the son going out and having a great time, as we are all sure that we would do if we were in that position. We are free of our family's influence and loaded with money. And then you have the classic fall, the FAFO part of the story, where the famine comes, the son has nothing, he's reduced to starving and acting as a slave, taking care of pigs. There's that feeling we as listeners have of righteousness. Yeah, he deserves that. He was acting like a pig, and now he's taking care of pigs. That'll teach him. And he does the right thing. He looks at his life, he realizes the mistakes that he's made, and he decides to go home and apologize. Throw himself on his father's mercy, and at least have a decent place to live and food to eat, even if it's not the high life he was living, or even the life he had before he left home. And then you have the father, who, extraordinarily, doesn't wait for his son to apologize or abase himself, but runs out to forgive him, welcome him back into the family, and even throw a party for him. What a great example of generosity and forgiveness. If the story had ended there, I would have been okay with it. But that's not where the story ends. And that last scene is why I have had a problem with this story my whole life. Here's a brother, an older brother. He's been living at home, taking care of the family, doing what he was supposed to be doing, working hard while his brother has been running through the family wealth, living the high life. The story doesn't go into detail, but I always felt that the younger son, once he got his share of the wealth and took off for the wide world, never looked back. Never contacted his family, never told them what he was doing, left them to wonder and worry about what might be happening to him. So here's the dutiful older brother, and he hasn't even been invited to this party. First thing he knows about it is when he comes home from working and hears music and dancing, and he has to ask the servant what's going on because nobody told him. And he, very understandably in my opinion, feels angry and hurt and refuses to go to the party. He was always the character I identified with. When he snaps at his father and says the father never went out of his way to celebrate him, I felt the unfairness right there with him. Nor did I ever feel the father's response was sufficient. The son is saying, I've been good all along. I never caused you a minute's worry, and you treat me like a piece of furniture. But this oaf takes your money, disappears with it, never says a word, you're tearing your hair out worrying about him, and then when he deigns to come swatting home again, you give him this big party. Thanks a lot. It's clear who you love and who you don't love. And the father says, hey, you're always with me. You don't need a party to know how important you are to me. Come and party with us because your brother is back and your mother and I don't have to stay up nights worrying about what happened to him anymore. In my years as a Catholic, the prodigal son's brother was always the awkward part of the story. He was explained away as showing resentment, which is bad, compared to the prodigal son's willingness to ask for forgiveness. He was the one who was stiff-necked, proud, jealous of his father's love, which the father had a right to give to anyone the father pleased. The lesson was supposed to be that resentment was bad, that he needs to work on his attitude. He was supposed to represent the good religious people who weren't good at forgiving. There was never an explanation that satisfied me. Yeah, I'll admit the brother's resentful. You notice the father doesn't say that what he's claiming is wrong. He doesn't come up with times that he did celebrate his older son or thank him for all that he was doing. He basically admits that the brother's right on the facts. So why shouldn't he be resentful? Why shouldn't he be angry at his brother for getting away with all this and getting a party to boot? The brother is saying that it's not fair. The father's not being fair to his two children. As a child and as a teenager who was the good one in the family, watching my older brother get into trouble all the time and seem to get away with it, or at least get the lion's share of my parents' attention, I definitely thought it wasn't fair. It wasn't fair for the prodigal's brother, and it wasn't fair for me. And I would be willing to bet that most families have a similar dynamic. If you have more than one child, they will perceive that the parents are not being fair to them. Fairness is a concept, seems to be built into people. And not just people either. There are experiments where animals will stop cooperating if they see that they're not being treated fairly. Even toddlers are quick to call something not fair. Of course, for a toddler, that means that the other person isn't giving the toddler what she wants when she wants it. Fairness to a young child is all focused on herself. Am I getting what I want? If not, it's not fair. Fairness has nothing to do with outside facts, like whether the toddler really needs what she's demanding, or whether it would be harmful to her if you gave her what she wanted. Fairness is all about ego. There are, I have to say, a lot of people around these days who are still at that toddler level of evaluating fairness. And that's a part of what has gotten us to where we are now. As you grow older, fairness becomes more complicated. You start to add others into the equation. You start to make it an equation. It's not fair that she gets more than I do. It's not fair that he gets to do it, but I don't. Still focused on yourself, of course. This, I think, is the level the prodigal son's brother is. It's not fair that I work so hard and you never give me what you just gave my badly behaved younger brother. The problem with that way of thinking about fairness is that you're seeing it as a zero-sum game. If he gets something, it's being taken away from me. There's not enough to go around, so I have to make sure that I get everything I can. And in a zero-sum world, you have to earn what you get. The brother is saying that he's earned his father's love, at least to the point of getting a party, though you know the party is just the excuse here. He's been good. He's worked hard. He's done everything he was supposed to do. He should get all the good things. He should get his father's love, not his brother who behaved badly, who caused their parents to suffer, who didn't even have to abase himself and linger in some kind of family purgatory for a while before being accepted back as a son again. Fairness, in this way of thinking, is getting what you deserve, what you've earned. You have to pay for love, you have to pay for acceptance, you have to pay for what you've done wrong. And you know, the prodigal son seems to feel this way too. He was all set to throw himself on the ground and abase himself and beg for his father's forgiveness, to accept less than he started out with, because he's keeping that little scoreboard in his head too, and he figures that might be enough to even up the balance, maybe. I recently watched all 3 seasons of Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Great show. And in the 3rd season, there's a plot line which really bothered me. The spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it, sorry. Nate, who started out as a lowly assistant to the soccer club at the beginning of the 1st season, who had been encouraged and helped by Ted through the 1st and 2nd seasons, given more responsibilities, acknowledged for his skills and his knowledge. At the end of the 2nd season, decides that Ted hasn't been treating him right. In a snit, he leaves the club to go coach their arch rival. And in his position as coach, he behaves like a total jerk, bad-mouthing Ted to the press and basically acting as if he's much better than Ted as a coach and as a person. All season long, every time I saw Nate, I was angry at him for the way he treated Ted. And while the other characters all expected Ted to fight back, or at least badmouth Nate, he wouldn't do it. I wanted to see Nate humbled. I wanted to see him, figuratively, having to slop the pigs and crawl back to Ted and beg his forgiveness. If you see the show, you know that's not how it happened in the show. If you know anything about Ted Lasso, you know that's not how it happened in the show. Nick didn't have to do anything to win back Ted's love because he always had it. He never lost it, no matter how much of a jerk he acted, and he did. Ted understood a different kind of fairness and a different kind of love from what I was expecting. And I think that's my issue, and that's what made me think about the whole prodigal son story differently. Robin Wall Kimmerer, in her book, The Service Berry, contrasts the European idea of economics with native ones. It says that the European-based economy starts with a sense of scarcity, whereas the native economy starts with a sense of abundance, of relationship, where the natural world and the human world work together, and there's plenty of what everyone needs. She was talking about economies, but her insight also relates powerfully to love. As universalists, we believe in the abundance of love. We believe in love so powerful, so all-encompassing, that there's nothing anyone can do that will make them unworthy of being loved. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to keep that little ledger in your head measuring whether you're good enough to be worthy of love. Love is not about fairness in that stunted version of fairness where everything has to be actually absolutely equal. Love is about the fairness that gives everyone what they need when they need it. That said, I do think the story of the prodigal son is cut short. I think there should be a scene between the father and both the sons where they talk openly about what they did and what they felt. I still think the prodigal son should acknowledge to his brother that his actions hurt the family and not just himself and his father. And I think the brother should look past his resentment and his anger, as I learned to do in my own family, and see the brother he loved and the father he loves, and accept that love is more than fairness and gives us what we need and not just what we believe we deserve. May we live that. May we see love as abundant and share love without resentment. May we believe with all our hearts that there is enough love to go around, and may we work to make sure that everyone gets what they need. Amen.
Each week we make an offering from the bounty we are blessed to enjoy. We do this in the spirit of love and generosity, aware that we've benefited from those who have gone before, those that in their turn gave generously. Our offering goes to support the work of love and justice undertaken by this community. Now, let's see. Today's offering will also be shared with Open Arms for Refugees, a community sponsorship organization bringing together neighbors, houses of worship, community organizations, and key providers in surrounding towns with the shared mission of welcoming and integrating federally sponsored refugees into our communities. For more, you can visit their website, openarmsforrefugees.org. You can make your donation in several ways. If present here in the sanctuary, you may give cash or a check in the offering plate. From home, you can make your donation via credit card or PayPal using the links provided in our e-newsletter, or by visiting our website, UUCHudsonValley.org. If you prefer, you can always mail us a check. The offering will now be given and gratefully received. Please join me now in the dedication of the offering. The words are in your order of service. May these gifts and the work of our hands and hearts give power to all we stand for as a community of faith. All right, we're going going to sing another hymn. Again, in your teal hymnal, number 1014, Rise as Ye Are Able. Here we go. Please join me in extinguishing the chalice. The words are in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we can carry in our hearts until we are together again.
And now let us go forth to love abundantly, without resentment, to know that there's enough for all of us as long as we share it. Amen.
go.